It's the agents of Sigmar.
And we're back again with one of our talking head sections. And today we have a special guest.
Very special guest on the show today.
So, Pete, if you'd like to introduce them.
It's Ed.
Ed!
I won't discuss his full name because, he's obviously wanted by the FBI, so we don't want to give away his full location. But it's Ed, one of our first, and he has a little claim to fame here. He is our first founding Patreon member before we even actually went live on Patreon.
Woo!
Yeah, somehow Ed managed to find us before we announced it. Ed, welcome to the show.
Your luck. Hello.
Hello. So, what's it like being a patron, and how awesome is it? Just tell the fans at home quickly.
Well, I mean, I love it. I think it's really good. You get sort of an inside track on what you're doing on YouTube, so pretty amazing.
This is great, Robin. This is great.
If you do find out what we're doing, can you let us know?
Yeah, we haven't got a clue. So we asked Ed on the show, and I keep calling it a show, and it's not really a show, but we asked Ed on the channel, making it sound like we're big radio stars or something here as well. It kind of feels like a radio. I've got headphones on, big microphone and everything. But we've asked Ed on to talk about some cards, and we were saying, do we want to talk about his favourite cards, or do we want to talk about some current cards that he dislikes or likes? And you went with a different topic, didn't you, Ed?
Yeah, so I figured, looking forward to the new sets that are coming out next week, I'd have a look at the universal cards that could be useful for previous warbands or a large selection of figures people may want to use.
Yes, so we've got some crackers here, so we'll just plough straight into them, I guess. And so the first one on my list I've got here is the Faneway Crystal, which is when this fighter makes a move action, they do not move normally. Instead, place them on an objective token and discard the card, and it's considered to be a move action. But it doesn't say. Well, I guess they get a token at the same time, because obviously there's this big thing now around tokens and moves and all that jazz, so I assume they get a move token. But you get rid of the card afterwards, which is a bit odd.
Yeah, I just figured it was, okay, it's an upgrade, but when you get a chance to use it, something like sending your Grimnir straight to behind the enemy lines onto an objective, he gets inspired, next activation, and then could cause havoc.
Yeah, that's true. You could bang him right on an objective, right in your opponent's backfield. He's sitting on the objective, so you haven't got to worry about trying to manoeuvre him there or anything like that, and he's ready to get inspired straight away. Also useful for, what's that card where you have to grab someone in your opponent, all the ones in your opponent's deployment zone?
Making a statement.
That's the one.
Okay, I think that's quite a cool card, and it kind of is a little bit of a... We've discussed before that objective decks are kind of suffering under the new meta, for want of a better way of putting it. And this is a little bit in their favour, isn't it? Because you can leap across and grab the supremacy if somebody's just played Great Concussion or something. But it is an upgrade, so it's not like you can sort of do surprise, because they pretty much know you've got it. Although I guess you could add it and then do it, I suppose.
So what do you think, Ed? Do you think this will be one that you'll see in your decks at all, or?
Yeah, I definitely want to give it a try. It just seemed to me, I mean, I like the Fire Slayers anyway, but it seemed to be right up their alley. Even if you don't get it on Fuel Grimnir, you can really mix things up.
I was going to say it's a shame. Well, no, I was going to say it's a shame for the Fire Slayers because it's an upgrade. They can be tricky to get out turn one, and if you want it for inspiring the Fire Slayers, it would be really useful. But actually, it's possibly by the time you've got it on them, they're already inspired, or hopefully already inspired for you.
Yeah,
possibly. Although you could possibly, if you can get a glory for taking somebody out with an easy, early, quick kill, then you could use that to play this on somebody and jump them into the backfield afterwards.
Yes, yeah. Also good for those cards where if you take a defender, if you take an objective that was occupied by an enemy, turn, quite useful for that.
It's an interesting one because it's a upgrade as well that you discard once you use it. You don't get a lot of those that aren't sort of like Soul Trap and stuff, or the Shade Glass weapons.
No, I guess it's too powerful otherwise. Well,
True.
Yeah, you can imagine using it for. Mind you, you've still got to move around the board, ready for action, and move again.
Could you use it with not my turn, Quick Thinker? Get somebody charging, and then you use your move because it says you can make a move action. You could use that instead of the move action, possibly, and disappear off somewhere else.
You could. I think only a fool would charge you if you had it on.
That's true. That's true.
I also thought it would be looking at the new warbands. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but the Fanatic and the Goblins.
Oh, Sour Tongue, yeah.
Yeah, because you can choose when he activates, you can put an upgrade on him first, and then send him wherever you want. You've got more options.
Oh yeah.
Nice, yes.
Yeah, that could work quite nicely. And if you can dump him in the backfield where there's a lot of undead or something like that, or the Skaven, you could start swinging around and smashing a lot of people.
Good for
It just seems like a fun idea.
That could make it quite chaotic.
Good for getting those turtle in Stormcast.
Goddamn Stormcast. Okay, so let's run on to the next. This one is a Gambit spell. This is Sorcerous Insight. You need 2 swirlies, can't remember the real name for it, and if this spell is cast, choose 1 ploy from your power discard pile and add it to your hand. This is where the power creep starts, I think.
I believe it's focus, isn't it? The swirlies?
Yes, I think you're right.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you there, Pete. I think there's a little bit of power creep. Although, it's 2 focus. It's not an easy roll. What do you think, Ed?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking you'd have to build your deck around it a bit. Maybe if I haven't seen one yet, but they bring out an innate swirly, then they make it easier to cast. And then, I mean, the double shard gale is the thing most people talk about.
Yeah,
that could be pretty nasty. Or a double time trap.
What about a double shard gale? If you both had it, you could kill everybody.
Oh wow!
Everyone dead. Yeah, that card, because it's only for casters. Unless there are cards coming out that are going to allow the regular first season warbands to upgrade one of their guys to casters, this is going to be the first of many cards, I think, which are going to make your season 1 warbands start to lag behind a bit, because they don't have a caster, so they can't take this card, so they're not ever going to be able to have the chance to do that double shard gale.
Ed talks about whether get an innate focus card. I haven't seen one yet. And I wonder whether, because quite a lot of the powerful spells seem to be built around focus rather than the lightning bolts, I wonder whether there will be one, or whether that's going to be how they're going to kind of keep it under control. Because if you could cast this with a level 2 wizard and automatically have a focus, then they're pretty much going to go off 50% of the time or something. I haven't worked out the odds, which makes them super powerful.
The odds of 2 swirlies is about 25%, I think.
Yeah, but you only need 1. If you had an innate one, you'd only need 1. 2 dice.
Yes, that is true.
So, it's that would be very powerful indeed.
I watched a Twitch stream with I can't remember his name, the guy that makes the rules.
Oh yeah, I know him.
He seemed to suggest that there will be one coming. He was talking about building your spell decks around either focus or the lightning bolt one.
Yeah.
But you'd have to make decisions because you wouldn't have enough cards to get both of them in.
That could make it very powerful than a caster deck, but then it does also make your caster an all eggs in one basket situation, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a kind of glass cannon, I suppose.
Yes, it is.
For Stormcaster, but those magic warbands where there's more than one magic user.
Oh yeah, that'll be interesting. Like Stormcast, and you just literally said that. So, okay, so let's crack on to the next one. So after Sorcerous Insight, we've got Power Surge. Now this could be one that could help you with Sorcerous Insight, which is play this a reaction during an attempt to cast a spell after the dice are rolled, but before the spell is resolved or fails. If you roll at least 1 crit, then basically you get another crit to the casting roll. So it seems a little overkill, but at the same time, you do need 2 swirlies normally, so 2 crits would definitely cast it, but you would take a wound. So what are your thoughts on this one, Ed?
For me, the fun in this one is playing it when your opponent casts a spell.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because if they roll 1 crit, you can instantly add the second, which if they're on 1 health, they die and the spell doesn't come off.
Oh, I'd not even thought of that. That's awesome.
That would be good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very situational, but I just thought it seemed like a fun combination.
It's funny because I'd not even remotely considered the thought of playing this when your opponent plays a spell and rolls a crit. And it's that kind of card which it kind of levels the playing field a little bit for the non-caster warbands, because it means if you're going to start throwing around a lot of dice, your chances of rolling crits increases, and that can help you cause another damage to your opponent. Yeah. Yeah,
and it's never wasted because it's activated after they've rolled the dice. So you're never going to throw it away.
Like twist the knife or something like that.
Yeah.
You can wait until you can actually use it before you use it, rather than throw it away on a +1 damage on your next attack kind of card.
No, that's true. Yeah, and therefore it's good for the Nightvaults and their objective about playing a reaction, which might be the easiest card to score in the game, but it's one that you're always going to be able to use, in theory, as long as somebody rolls a crit, which they're bound to at some point.
Okay, so we're on to the next one, Countercharge. Play this card after an enemy fighter's move action that is part of a charge. Choose a friendly fighter and push them up to 3 hexes. They must end this push adjacent to the enemy fighter. So this one, I'm surprised we could find this card because it's 404, so little tech humour there. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. So what are your thoughts on this one, Ed?
A couple of things really. I mean, instant support if you're worried about your fighters. I kind of felt that it's kind of a safe way to inspire a Nightvault model, because he's coming up in support, he's not going to get attacked, and then next turn you're inspired straight away. The only other thing, I mean, there's a...
Although, sorry, won't the... if you have to move them... You play after the enemy's fighter's move action that is part of the charge action, so they could then attack you, because you have to be adjacent to them, don't you? So
true.
They could actually stop and attack you, but then you've still got the other person in support. But it's not. They can then choose which of the 2 people standing next to them they swing at, I believe.
Oh yes, we didn't think about that.
They could, but the chances are they've already got a plan in place where they want to attack a certain model. I mean, they might change their mind, and you're going to know already if they've got a hit, swing, and hit everybody move. Yes. So, because Mighty Swing you had to play in the previous power step, and so on. So, if it was Severin charging, you're not gonna use this to get up next to Severin or somebody like I can't remember the Corn guy, Carcass the Chained or someone like that. But other people, it at least gives your opponent more head scratching to do.
Definitely, it's good for Aurochs, I think, and Fire Slayers as well, because they don't move that quick. You can push them up to 3 hexes, so actually, if they're not inspired, they can actually move faster than they can.
It's a push. Yeah. You had another point as well, Ed, that you were going to say?
I'm not sure if it's a valid one, but a bit like the Nightvault separation between move and push. If you could kind of break the game, you could tie it into the new scurry with the grots. So you could then react and then drag like 3 or 4 of them along with you.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm not sure how that will play out, but that could be a way of getting a lot of your guys to shift very quickly.
That does say move action though, doesn't it? I think. I can't remember.
It might do. It might be that the scurry is a thing you can do if somebody near you moves. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to go and look back at the card.
Yeah. I'd say it's a bit of a dubious one, but fine.
It's also good for Skaven.
Dubious rules interpretations. That's ideal.
Half of the course.
Yeah.
And it's also good for Skaven because you choose a friendly fighter, so you can inspire somebody straight away. So it could be good for shifting Scritch up next to somebody to have a swing the next turn.
Yeah.
And as I think you already covered, Robin, it's a push, not a move. So it's a 3 hex free movement, as it were. So it helps move some of your slower guys up the field. Could be good for Fuel's chosen axes.
Yes, I think so.
It's a tasty card. The next one we have in our list is, this one's a weird one. It's Arcane Shield. It's a Gambit spell, and 2 swirlies again, and if this spell is cast, you reduce all damage suffered by the caster by 1 to a minimum of 1, and the spell persists until the caster's out of action. Now, I'll let you say your bit first, Ed, and then I'll say the things that I think's weird about this.
Yeah, I just thought it's kind of unlike anything we've seen so far. There's not a lot of damage reduction buffs. I can't remember all the old cards, but none jump out at me.
I think there's one Auric one, which is called I can't remember what it's called, Our Design, or I think that might be an objective actually, but there's one Auric one that I think reduces damage by 1, and one Khorne one for Magor's Fiends, maybe?
But yeah, I just felt if you can get it off early on something like a Stormcast, it's just going to increase the longevity of their fighter.
Yes.
You're probably not going to kill them.
You just give up at that point and go after somebody else. It's just going to make it too hard to kill.
Especially if you've got +1 wound or upgrade, something like that, they're just going to be a complete tank.
They're never going to die. So the 2 things that I thought was weird about this is, one, that the spell persists until the caster's out of action, which seems an erroneous statement to me. It's obviously going to disappear once they're dead. So I don't know why they put that in there unless there's...
Because it's not an upgrade, is it?
Yeah, well, that's true. I guess it's not an upgrade.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
It's true.
You need a way of knowing that it's still going on. I think that's why that's in there.
That is true. Yeah, I forgot. It's not an upgrade. It is a gambit spell. So there is that one. And the other thing was, like Ed was saying, was that there aren't many spells or many things that do this in the game, apart from maybe 1 or 2 cards tops that do give you that -1 damage. So it could be quite handy.
Yeah, one thing I have to say for it is that I absolutely love the picture on it. I think it might be my favourite artwork yet. I just really like it.
I've got that shield sort of blocking the arrows as they're coming in.
Really
it's quite funky.
Yeah.
Who's that? That's Rastus, isn't it? It's another gambit spell, 2 swirlies. There's a lot of those knocking around, and they're not high chance to cast, which does make me feel that magic in general is going to be quite unreliable unless you go big on magic and get a lot of the upgrades to give you I can't remember the name of the term for swirlies that are always there.
Focus, man, focus.
Focus. I'm trying to focus. I can't think of what it's called. Oh, I see. So yeah, I think this one's that can be a very interesting one as well.
Yeah, I have to say, if there's a persisting focus innate ability or an upgrade like there is for the lightning, that's going to be super powerful with some of these cards.
There is. Surely that's going to come in the Tzeentch deck.
You reckon?
I would have thought so.
Yeah, but they don't focus on anything. That doesn't make sense. They're all over the place. They are.
I've just worked out that you must be Tzeentch, Robin. You are Tzeentch.
Yeah, I do identify with Tzeentch. Better than identify with Nurgle, Pete. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, either that or Khorne. I am unnecessarily angry sometimes at work, you know. And the last one we have in our list that Ed has picked out is Abasoth's Unmaking. Now, this is a gambit spell, and it's 1 lightning. And it's if this spell is cast, choose an objective token within 4 hexes and remove it from the battlefield. I can't express how angry this card makes me.
I hate this card so much.
Over to you, Ed. Sorry, what did you think of this card?
Yeah, I'm just going to make you more angry. Basically it's an all-round. It's just such a powerful card, and it's great against heavy objective decks. It's great against fire slayers. You're taking. I mean, it doesn't say it has to be clear, so they could have guys sitting on it waiting to be inspired, and you just whip it underneath them.
Oh yeah, I hadn't noticed.
How irritating would that be? You've got fuel sitting there.
And imagine if they were just about to play the Fameway Crystal as well, and then you cast that and took it away. How irritating would that be?
I just feel like this card. I mean, it's designed to destroy objectives, and I just feel that objective decks haven't had any love really because anything that you can use to help you with objective decks like mischievous spirits or concussion or great concussion or anything like that can also be used by your opponent to stuff you up, and this takes out a hex completely from up to 4 hexes away. So whilst Khorne have the ability desecrate, I think it's called, you have to stand on it, so there's a problem for that, whereas this is just roll a lightning and you get 2 dice. You've got fairly good odds of doing that.
Or innate lightning.
Oh god, yeah.
Innate lightning cards, yeah.
That's what I was going to say. Innate just means you just got to turn the card over. It's done.
Yeah.
I'm feeling more sick now.
If it was a Stormcast, they'd inspire as well at the same time.
Yeah.
It all makes me so angry.
If you wanted to use it offensively in an objective deck, a card you mentioned before about holding all the objectives in your half.
Yeah.
If there's one you can't get to, you could just get rid of it.
Yeah, making a statement. It's good for making a statement, which is my favourite useless card.
Yeah.
I guess that's one of those cards that we've taken several times. I think we scored it once.
I scored it once, but I think I killed nearly all of your people, so no one to score.
Yeah. I'd had some. Yeah, that was Magor versus Garrick, and that did not go my way. And you did score it, yes. Not that I write these things down and sit there brooding over them for hours. See, I told you, Khorne. That's my calling. But yeah, I just feel that there's nothing in the. I've not seen any cards yet which you sit there and look at and you think that's really for an objectives deck. We mentioned this in a video coming up. No spoilers, but we talk about objective decks in that, and we rant a bit. And like Robin points out in that video, you have not concussion. You have supremacy, which is 3 objectives, 3 glory. You then have Our Only Way Out, which is 3 objectives, 2 glory. But you've then got grab objective 1 and 2, or 3 and 4, which I don't think are very good cards to have as objectives, because you can have just the wrong objectives land and you can't do very much about that. And you only get 2 glory for those as well. I feel like the sit on objectives cards need to have a bit more glory to them to make them a bit more worthwhile. I don't know.
The specific ones do, I think, especially with cards like this around. I mean, isn't it objective 3 is supposed to be the sort of linchpin? That's the one that features in most cards. You just take objective 3 out and all those cards are buggered.
Yeah, so I think this would be, you'd nearly always target objective 3 with this card, because you can then, anybody who's got I can't remember what it's called now, tactical something or other, which is take objectives 1, 2, 3 or 3, 4, 5, and
Genius, I think.
Yeah.
I can't remember it.
So those are the cards that Ed picked. Ed, how are you feeling about the new cards coming in this season?
Yeah, very excited to give them a go. The mechanics in both the new warbands look like they could be a lot of fun. Definitely diverse.
They are definitely making them much more weird, with the Night Haunts push manoeuvre, with the Grot's scurry thing that they've got going on, the Zinch with the horror that comes back as the different horror when you kill it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think I've said this in a couple of places. I think that the game Shadespire, as it were, was perhaps getting a little bit samey and a little bit serious. Everybody was kind of playing the same cards, and then they had Relic Gate, which was like the game was very dour. And all of these releases seem to me just adding a little bit more fun. So if you don't want to play ultra competitively, there's just loads of fun to be had with like a Chain Lightning and the Fanatic zooming around all over the place randomly.
Yeah.
And Siege obviously changes things up, and then the Squigs, all that kind of stuff. I just think I think Nightvault looks like it's just going to be a little bit more fun than Shadespire was. Not that Shadespire isn't fun, but I think easier to take less seriously.
Yes, definitely.
I think all these cards hitting is going to shake up the meta, which is fun too. Probably do my head in for the first few weeks.
I think things like Chain Lightning as well it's not actually a great card if you look at it. You look at it on paper, it's not a great card, but it's fun to have.
Exactly.
So it's always worth a bash.
Exactly. I mean, even if it comes off, it doesn't actually do very much. But I just think fun. So I'm hoping there'll be lots of fun stuff in there that we can enjoy making entertaining videos on the channel, rather than sort of glass-winning videos.
Yes.
Glass-winning decks.
Yes, we're never going to win glass, I don't think. Mostly because we're going to get to the tournaments.
No, unless we have one in our garage.
So, Ed, thank you very much for joining us today, and thank you for being one of our Patreons, our first Patreon, and giving us so much support. I hope you've enjoyed being on.
Yeah, absolute pleasure. It's I feel like Terminator's going to walk to my door. YouTube is alive in my ears.
Well, and to everybody out there listening, do let us know what you think of these videos. Do you enjoy them? Do you hate them? Do you love them? If you do like them, what do you want us to cover? And do you want to be on this show? We are going to be asking more of our patroners in the future to join us. So if you want to have a chance, you're going to have to be a patroner or patroniser.
Patron.
Oh yeah, patrons.
It's been great to talk to you at last, rather than just with text. I'm sure we'll have you on again at some point in the future.
Yeah, anytime.
Brilliant. Well, thanks very much, Ed, and we shall see you all soon. Bye.
Bye.